What is going on, everybody? Durell, Whiskey Saint, back on another Wednesday. And we are going to get back into some poor guesses, man, some blind guesses. I struggled the past couple weeks, man, mixing up a couple things, like getting really, really close in terms of like proof and all this good stuff. But mixed up a rum with a light whiskey, mixed up a light whiskey with this, and, trying to just hone in. I got to see if I can kind of, hit this one out the park. So, we're gonna dive into my little handy dandy box over here, pull out a sample blind, see if I could potentially guess some good things on it, man. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, the last couple weeks haven't been too great. So fingers crossed, pull something out of here. Maybe I can kind of guess a couple things on it. But new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe, guys. We're gonna kick the show off. Cheers. Welcome back. And let's get right into it, man. I got my box over here tucked away. We're going to flash this to you. Got a lot of sample. Well, not really a lot. Probably got what, 10, 20, maybe 25 samples left. I'm not sure what there are, but we're going to pull. Let's go with this. And I got to make sure. I'm just going to grab it. Last time one didn't feel full and it was too full. So regardless of what this is, we're just going to do it. I'm going to turn my head, try to make sure I can get this label for you guys to see. So let's, kind of feels weird. I think it's like, taped over. So I'm just going to hold it here, guys, and I'll spin it a few times. I'm not sure if the label's going to be, if you're going to be able to read what it is. Hopefully you can. If not, we'll be going through this blind together and revealing it towards the end. So just give it a couple spins. No cheating on this end. Got a little fly just coming across my screen. All right, so we're going to cover this up and we're going to pour. Got some nice color. Okay, it's typically a good sign. And we're going to throw this in this Glen over here, guys, so I can't see. Shout out to my guy, Marty Whiskey Nose, for the Glen. And look at that. That's pretty dark. Pretty dark. Cheers to Dan and Sean, Bourbon Junkies, loving a Glen. We're going to swirl this up, guys, and we're going to dive right in. Gotta do better than what I did the last couple weeks, right? Hopefully. Let's see. Cheers. Okay. So it doesn't come across as light whiskey or rum this time. Right off first impression, I'm thinking bourbon. Doesn't really seem like it's finished either. Just seems like a straight bourbon. Some nice oak, like would make me think it has a decent amount of age. But yeah, just a pretty solid nose, just like conventional, stereotypical bourbon. Oaky, a little bit of sweetness there, some vanilla. Nothing crazy. It's opening up to be a little bit brighter. I don't want to really say citrus, but it's like a brighter note on that nose, like right towards the tail end of, the experience of nosing it. Yeah, right up front, it's just darker, say a little rich too, with some nice oak. All right, enough with the nose, guys. Let's go in for a taste. Cheers. Oh, I like that. Not sure what it is. Do not think it's a rye. I will say bourbon did kind of taste like it could be potentially finished on that first sip. Nice proof. I'm thinking it's maybe a cash strength or something. It's definitely north of, 100 proof. Maybe in that like 110, 112 range. Let's take another sip. The color though is like really, really dark, which makes me think it's a little older. Could be finished, but I can usually pick up finishes really, really easily. And this just kind of gives me hints of it. Like nothing's selling me on it being finished. Let's go in for another sip. Mm, that's nice. So nice oak, richness, nice spice. Comes across at like maybe like a 115 proof bourbon. I'm still getting some like dark berry notes that makes me think it may be finished, but something's telling me that it's not, and it's maybe something with the barrel, like the barrel influence on the whiskey is making it seem like it's, finished versus it not being. I'm not sure if, well, I guess a double barrel would be considered finished, but when I think finished, I'm like a secondary finish, like a cognac, a rum, wine, or something like that. And it's not really giving me those vibes, even though it does have like a nice berry note on the mid to back of the palate. It just doesn't give me 100% like finish vibes. Let's take another sip. Like this one's a little tricky, but I think I can navigate this one a little better than I was navigating the last ones from a few weeks. Hmm. Actually, it may. It's like a 50-50 guess if it's finished or not. There's something that makes me want to say yes because of just how fruit forward the mid and back of the palate is. Typically, when I get something that's that fruit forward and like those berry notes, I think more often than not it has been finished. But I've had a good amount of whiskeys that tasted similar to this that wasn't finished. I'm just gonna stick with my guns, guys. I'm gonna say not finished. We'll see what it is, and maybe I could just tell right off the label. But I'm gonna say bourbon. I'm gonna say that this is like a 6-year-old product. I'm not sure if it's age stated or not. So bourbon, 6 years old. If I had to guess state, I would think Kentucky. This doesn't really remind me of MGP. Reminds me more of that Kentucky profile. So bourbon, 6 years, Kentucky, I would say 115 proof, not finished. If I had to bottle guess, guys, I honestly do not know. I'm gonna take one more sip. Maybe I get an idea after that, but we may just leave it off on the guesses that I've said so far. Hmm. Yeah, I really don't have a bottle guess. I do really like this though. This is actually a really good pour. Comes across, like I said, with a decent amount of age, has those berry notes. You guys know me. I love like that fruity. Just give me all like the dark, rich oak and like berry, like dark berry on a palate, and I'm like sold. Some of my favorite whiskeys have been like just fruit forward, but like more on the darker level with some nice oak. And this actually, I wouldn't say it's like my favorite whiskey by any means, but it's really, really good. And it follows suit with what, I really like in whiskey. Good amount of oak, berry, fruitness, richness, like it's actually, was gonna say it comes across on the palate like pretty viscous, but it doesn't seem like it was actually sticking to the glass much. But nonetheless, like it's definitely tasty. I'm really curious. Hopefully, some of the stats are on this sample right here, guys, and hopefully, I did a little better, a little better than what I did the past couple weeks. Let's see what we were drinking. Which batch is? Oh, batch 5. Okay. So this was K Luke Barrel Strength batch 5. And this was actually sent to me from K Luke. So, Jonathan, I know I probably took at least half the sample. So, this was probably about an ounce that was left in here. Because I know I did a blind at one point to see which one was my favorite batch. So, I did have this sample prior, but it didn't really remind me of something that I've had, you know, semi recently. But bourbon, not finished, Kentucky and MGP. So I'm going to give myself a point there. I said 115 proof. It's 119 proof. And I've said that I've gotten like dark berries on some K Lukes in the past, so this follows suit. Like, I think I actually did pretty well, guys. So I did say bourbon. I said not finished. I said 115 proof. I was only 4 proof points off. I said Kentucky, which it's half Kentucky, half MGP. That's pretty solid, I think. So I think I did redeem myself a bit on this one, which I'm kind of happy about because I struck out kind of 2 weeks in a row, man. And I was like, this isn't like me. I gotta get I gotta get back to the grind, figure it out. Coming off a blind with OH going against, Kelsey and Jeff, man. We did really well. They just squeaked it out on us. If you guys didn't watch that, go back to our videos, look at that live, man, from the other week. We lost by 2 points, but we did really good, man. It came down literally to one question, for at least a tie or a win, man. So that was a close battle, probably the closest battle that I've been in. And I was with my partner in crime, my fellow Eagles fan, OH. Shout out to you, buddy. But yeah, back on this, man. This K Luke 5 is good. I'm trying to remember where it ranked when I was doing all of the rankings for the K Luke batches. I believe batch 2 and batch 4 were my favorites at the time. And when I did this, I had 1 through 6. The most recent ones, 7. I think they're actually on 10 now. Jonathan's pumping out some batches, but I think they're on 10. And I have 7 and 8. I don't have the 2 most recent ones. But doesn't disappoint, which I guess it's kind of expected. I haven't had a bad K Luke yet. But surprised me because I didn't really jump to that, nor did it even pop in my head. Like, I thought more Kentucky. I'm not sure how much Kentucky was blended into this versus MGP, but it reminds me more of that vibe on the whiskey versus the MGP side. And just that dark berry note, man, has me sold. Like, I'm going to take another sip, guys, and I'm going to end this off. Yeah, man, it honestly just gets better and better with some air on it. Came across a little bit more balance at time, but that dark fruit just literally hits the front, but transitions really quickly to the mid in the back of the palate and just sits on the back of my tongue and literally just press my tongue to the roof of my mouth and I get all that flavor again. Oh man, it's like a gusher. Like, literally just close my mouth and it just, all that flavor kind of gushes back into it. Really good batch. Like I said, I'm not sure where it ranked when I did them, but this one is good nonetheless. You guys, like these cash strength or barrel strength K Lukes that come out, man, I haven't had a bad one. All of them have been good, and they've been kind of progressively just elevating, man. Every batch is just, been getting better and better and better. Jonathan's blended some crazy stuff out there. Shout out to you, man. I know we had you on the channel before. Love your product. Can't really talk it up enough. Like everybody I know that's had it has enjoyed it, So keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna keep enjoying this. Cheers to you guys for sticking with me so far. Till next Wednesday. You guys take it easy. Cheers.
Jeff, just be friends with me.